Hello again, everybody. Wayback Sports Cards, and today we're doing an unboxing. And you see in front of you 1991 Topps NFL football cards. I bought this along with 1990 Topps and a 1991 Upper Deck complete set at a flea market. Got all three of them for $8. So did really well. But I haven't gone through it. It is unsealed. So I'm gonna unbox this just to see what's in this set. As you can see, it looks like this box is largely untouched because of the way the cards are packed in. They got like that little ridge in there. So this looks like it was almost put in by the machine and kind of not touched. If it was disturbed, the cards would kind of be all in and out. It wouldn't look like this. It also has the Topps magazine offer. So I'm going to open this. It's already unsealed. Just going to go through this 660 card set. I don't believe these cards are going to be in any particular order. So just going to go through these. No real key. I mean, there's a lot of rookie cards in the set. Russell Maryland, Herman Moore, Browning Nagel. Brett Favre is not in this set as far as I can tell. I don't believe he is. I checked trading card database. So Brett Favre's not in here. Looks like the cards are not in number order, which is also a telltale sign that this has not been looked at or touched, and the cards are in pretty good shape. So 660 card set. Out of those 660 cards in the set, 69 of them feature Hall of Famers. So about 10% of the set has Hall of Famers on them. And we'll just go through it. Looks like if you're familiar with 1991 Topps baseball, you will notice the front looks very familiar. The back, a little different. Metcalf makes a return. Max Montoya. We got some landscape cards. Pretty good photos here. Perry Kemp. Highlights of Warren Moon. Hartley Dykes, Raina Thompson. So pretty good photos here. Rod Sadler. James Campen. Eric Swan, rookie card. I like that with the cactus behind him. Ken Harvey. Robert Thomas, Mark Carrier. Stoyanovich, Dolphins kicker. Haywood Jeffries, solid receiver for the Oilers. He signed some cards for me through the mail. Howie Long. Neil Smith, defensive end for the Chiefs. No stats here, I guess, for the defensive players. Ron Rivera, outside linebacker. Roger Craig. 1,000 yards receiving and rushing in the same season with the Niners. Gerald Riggs, Mike Horan, Mike Babb. Travis McNeil, Ironhead, Craig Hayward. Randall Cunningham calls his own number for the touchdown, also featuring LT. Eagles-Giants, always a fun one. Pete Stoyanovich. Keith Jones. I'm not going to turn all those. It's going to take a while. Ickey Woods. Keith Taylor. Mike Munchak. I will turn this one. Mike Munchak, Hall of Famer. Reggie Roby, punter. Gary Wilkins. Freddie Joe Nunn. Ray Childress. Andre Rison, All-Pro. Jerry Rice, highlights card. The GOAT. Nick Lowry. Lomas Brown. Pat Swilling. I think former Defensive Player of the Year, if I remember correctly. Sterling Sharp, LT All-Pro, Eric Allen. Yeah, these do not appear to have been touched. They're all in really good shape. Not bad for a purchase at a flea market. This and 2 other sets for $8. This alone for $8 is probably not the worst deal in the world. Getting 2 more sets. Bill Romanowski. Getting a couple more sets added in is not bad. So, Super Bowl 25, Giants, Bills. Bills fans don't want to talk about this one. The Fridge, Eric Metcalf, Nate Newton, big Nate Newton. 318 pounds, 6'3". Part of those big offensive lines for the Cowboys in the 90s, led to those Super Bowls. A couple of years later here, 91, not quite the Cowboys' time. There's Bob Golick, brother, I think, of Mike Golick. Bob Golick also was on Saved by the Bell the college years. Scott Norwood, I won't say anything other than he kind of ties in with that Super Bowl card a minute ago. Jeff Hostetler, he was the winning quarterback in that Super Bowl, Giants-Bills. He kind of jumped in there for Phil Simms, who was injured, and led those Giants to the win. Jay Novacek, Cowboys tight end. Reggie White, Minister of Defense. Drew Hill, Anthony Carter, Dennis Byrd, unfortunately was paralyzed a couple of years after this, I believe. Jumbo Elliott, great name for an offensive lineman. Carnell Lake, Rodney Peete, hunted by a bear. I like that headline there. Jackie Slater, Hall of Fame tackle. I love the single bar helmet there, and also the Oilers jersey. John L. Williams, solid running back there for the Seahawks. Jeff Beagles, punter. Eric Turner, rookie. Sean Lee, nose tackle. Rodney Peete, again. Steve Broussard. All-Pro Jerry Rice, so second Jerry Rice card in the set. Still haven't seen the base one, so Steve Atwater, Hall of Famer, safety with the Broncos. James Lofton, solid receiver there for the Bills. Nice long career, 61 touchdowns at that point with the Packers and Bills. First, Joe Montana, playing on that infield there in San Francisco. See that dirt. Rich Gannon with the Vikings. Gannon loads cannon. Love the headlines on that. Gannon would kind of become a big name with the Raiders about 10 years kind of hung around, and then finally had couple of breakout years with the Raiders in the early 2000s. Ernest Biner, Mark Stepnoski, great shot. I like that. Roger Craig, highlights card. We saw him a few cards back with the Raiders. Peter Tom Willis, great name. Ernest Biner. Mark Boyer, Eric Davis, Mike Singletary. Kind of the back end of those Bears teams. Bears were kind of big in the mid-'80s. And then you got a guy coming up here. This is a great card. Wow. This is Michael Irvin and Dion. 21. He got prime time there. That's a great card. Keith Jackson, All-Pro. Tight end. Chris Dolman, solid defensive end. The Vikings, Bubba McDowell. Jones jumps for yardage. Mervin Fernandez. Marv Cook. Pretty good set here. They still got, at this point, Topps still doing the solid, like the card stock backs. They're not quite glossy yet. So this kind of like feels like those old school baseball cards, right? A couple of years down the road, Topps would kind of get into that glossy, or not glossy, but, you know, not the card stock backs. Okoye, Nigerian Nightmare. Warren Moon. This is Jeff George. Jeff George releases just in time. #1 pick there. Oh, move the camera. #1 pick there with the Colts. Carthon, inches ahead. Chris Warren. Brian Blades. Billy Joe Tolliver. Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh, carded back there of the Bears. Dave Meggett. Todd Marinovich. Thought he was going to be a big deal. Didn't quite pan out. Marcus Allen crosses the plane. Got Chris Carter with the Vikings after starting his career with the Eagles. There you go. 1990s first year with the Vikings. That's kind of a sad card. All alone on the bench is Brian Hinkle. Michkowski, the Magic Man, orchestrates some magic. Ron Stark, Seth Joyner, Greg Lloyd, Steelers linebacker, Eric Martin, Lagaman, Mark Carrier, Darryl Talley, great outside linebacker for the Bills, Wade Wilson, Deadpool, Bobby Brister, and Rob Burnett. About halfway through this box. Dave Krieg. Simon Fletcher. Warren Moon monitors the action. I think these are like the leaders cards. Yep. So, team leaders, rushing, receiving, interceptions, sacks, tackles, and all the game results. So there you go. That's what those headline cards are, really, is just a way to get the team leaders in there. Brian Jordan, also known as a baseball player, and he's with Deion Sanders. So that's interesting. That's a great card. I like that one. 2 multi-sport players. Randall Cunningham. Paul Gruber. Jack Del Rio, known as a coach these days. Very nice shot there. Carl Banks, thinking about life. Ronnie Lott in his street clothes there. Perhaps he was injured at that point. Pete Stoyanovich highlights. Anthony Miller. Ray Donaldson, Tom Rathman, great fullback. Junior Seau. That's like a second-year card? Might be a second-year Seau, second or third year. Eugene Robinson. Seahawks Fenner. Derek Thomas, All-Pro. Willie Gault. Ricky Sanders. Freeze. Mark Collins. Lee Williams. David Johnson. Gary Anderson. Solid kicker there for the Steelers. Otis Anderson highlights with the Giants. Helped them get to that Super Bowl win. Charles Haley. Until Tom Brady came along, Charles Haley was the trivia answer to who has won the most Super Bowls in their career. Bruce Smith, All-Pro. All right. Todd Light, James Brooks, Rob Moore, receiver for the Jets. Mike Kroll, Marcus Allen, Derek Thomas highlights, Alexander Wright, Chris Callaway, John Kidd, this is the great thing about these sets too is this is just a snapshot of who's who in the league in that year. Cleveland Gary, Sarah Tuolo. Interesting. He's got that microphone. Bo Jackson. 1991 would be the end of Bo Jackson's football career. So that's kind of right at the end. Bo would get injured against the Bengals, and that would be the end of his career. Alvin Harper, draft pick card, contributor to those Cowboys championships. Chris Zork, Mark Bavaro, tight end for the Giants. Russell Maryland, top pick for the Cowboys. Frank Reich would lead one of the greatest comebacks in NFL history. Playoff comeback wins. The Bills over the Oilers. Frank Reich was at the helm, not Jim Kelly. John Elway, speaking of comebacks. John Elway, master of the comeback. Dan McGuire, Mark McGuire's brother. Pepper Johnson. But yeah, Dan McGuire was kind of a big name at that point. People thought Dan McGuire was going to be a big quarterback. Didn't pan out. Ken O'Brien with the Jets. Rodney Hampton, super rookie. Had some solid years there with the Giants after Otis Anderson left. Shannon Sharp, listed as a wide receiver here. Interesting. Known more as a tight end. So, there you go. Coach Prime, cornerback kick returner. Ronnie Harmon, good receiver. Rich Camarillo. Marion Butts. The Goose, no longer with us. Steve DeBerg. Jay Schroeder. Chris Spielman, linebacker. Stan Humphries with the Redskins would go to the Chargers and lead them to the Super Bowl a couple of years later from here. Chargers would lose to the Niners. Lose big. Jim Harbaugh with the Bears here would go over to the Colts in a couple of years, lead them to an AFC championship game. Jeff George, super rookie, #1 pick the year previous. Jeff George, solid quarterback, hung around for many years, maybe not living up to the expectations of a #1 pick, but certainly not a bust by any stretch. Super rookie Emmitt Smith. Jay Hilgenberg, Mel Gray, Brent Jones, tight end, Ernest Givens, Kelvin Martin, Mike Sherrard. Okay, we're getting down to the end here. Couple more bunches. Still looking for some bigger names we haven't found yet. Mark Clayton. Shannon Sharp. The Magic Man again, Don Majkowski, would be succeeded by Brett Favre in the following year, 92. Al Toon, solid receiver there for the Jets. Mark Rippon, Super Bowl winning quarterback with the Redskins. They would win in 91. Yep, the Giants won 90, and then the Redskins the next year. Then the Cowboys would start winning their championships. Bruce Matthews. Art Monk. The great Art Monk. Eddie Murray, great kicker. Troy Aikman. Early career, like second year, maybe third year. 89, I think, is Aikman's rookie. Kent Hull. Thurman Thomas, All-Pro. League leaders, Warren Moon, Jim Everett, passing yards. Mark Jackson, Broncos receiver. One of Elway's favorite targets. Boomer Esiason. Sam Mills, great inside linebacker. League leaders in rushing, Thurman Thomas and Barry Sanders. First time we've seen Barry Sanders so far. Bubby Brister, Merrill Hodge, Andre Reed, Nate Odoms, Ricky Jackson, Hall of Famer, outside linebacker, Vinny Testaverde, receiving leaders, Haywood Jeffries, and the GOAT, Jerry Rice. Rod Woodson, All-Pro. League leaders in interceptions, Richard Johnson, Mark Carrier. Mike Golick, there's the other Golick brother. ESPN personality, Mike Golick. Derek Thomas, Charles Haley, sack leaders. Christian Okoye, the Nigerian Nightmare. Stephon Page, Carl Mecklenburg, Tim Grunhard. All right. The final batch of cards here from this box. Richard Johnson. John Offerdahl. Jim Everett. Mike Rozier. Yes. Reggie Cobb. Flipper Anderson. Chris Dishman. Dan Saliamua. Bart Oates. Lewis Lips. Brad Muster. Cortez Kennedy. Bad man. Henry Ellard. Great receiver. Ricky Prohl. Anthony Munoz, All-Pro. Gary Anderson. Alvin Wright. Clay Matthews Sr. Otis Anderson again. Maurice Carton. Tony Mandarich. Sean Landetta. Herman Moore, rookie card with the Lions. Solid career. Had a couple of big 100-catch seasons. Roy Green. Bruce Hill. Jimmy Jones. Jeff Bryant. Martin Makes a Move. Keith Millard. Shane Conlon. Keith Van Horn, Wesley Carroll, the great Kevin Green, rest in peace. And who did I drop? Arton Bayless, Tim Brown, Mike Kofer, Jared Bunch, Darrell Green, All-Pro, Pat Beach, Phil Simms, Darrell Grant, Finnerty finds the opening. Oh, are these all upside down? Okay, interesting. Fred Barnett. Browning Nadel, rookie card. Harold Green. Barry Sanders, All-Pro. Jim Everett. Calvin Williams. Mark Ingram. I like the headband. Jesse Tuggle. Frank Stam. Steve Christie. Jeff Bostic. Scott Stephen. Herschel Walker. Jeff Cross. Steve Jordan. Solid tight end. Rick Donnelly. Dan Marino. Hadn't seen him yet. Harvey Williams. Ken Lanier. And Richard Dent. So there you have it. Oh, we got one more in here, and it is Leroy Butler. Great Leroy Butler, Packers cornerback. So there you have it. And Leroy Butler is also a Pro Football Hall of Famer. So stuck to the bottom, last but not least. So there you go. That is 1991 Topps football card, 660 card unboxing. Let me know what you think about this. Trying to do a little bit different here. Hopefully that gives you a good snapshot of the league in 1991. But let me know what you think. And thank you all for watching. Stay tuned every week for a long form break. And until next time, thanks for watching. Have a great day, everyone. So long.